You're listening to Cinema Red Pill. I'm Sharon, here with my co-host Timothy.
Yes.
And today we're having an interview with two filmmakers, Raymond and Robin Malinga. Their film is A Calaban That Ate My Homework. I think your thing became a bit viral on social media. That's how I caught wind of it through its trailer. So a few people should have heard of it. If you have not, please go and check it out. I'll link it on the show notes. But welcome, Robin and Raymond Malinga. Raymond is the director,
Yep.
as far as I know, and Robin is the screenwriter.
Okay.
So in this podcast, we're going to try to delve into your craft and a lot of other things, but yeah, just get into the craft of your filmmaking process and how the story and everything about A Calaban That Ate My Homework. So would you like to just give the synopsis of the story to lead into the intro?
Probably the writer should do it.
Yes, just the synopsis of the
specific.
story.
The director is the one who directed the film.
You wrote it.
Yeah, anyway. Basically, the synopsis. A young boy named Tendo. Anyway, Tendo, a school student, a little 12-year-old boy, shows up to class one day, and his very scary teacher, Mr. Okech, asks him where his homework is, and Tendo's response to the teacher is, "A Calaban That Ate My Homework." And so this is obviously a very trying situation for the little boy to have an excuse whereby, you know, you're like trying to convince people, oh, no, that's the truth and all, and your teacher is never going to believe that. I mean, anyone who sees the title thinks it's already ridiculous. We thought it was ridiculous, and that's basically it. Yeah.
So I want to start with the beginning, and mostly I wanted to know if you studied your crafts, if you either studied filmmaking or screenwriting. Specifically that. So let's start with the director.
Hi. Well, I actually hold a degree in animation from Multimedia University in Malaysia. So I actually studied this stuff, right? And I also have some professional experience. I've worked at I did my internship at an advertising agency in Malaysia, and I also worked at an animation studio for the good part of a year. It's Wow Animation. Worked on a series called Agent Ali, where I worked as a screenwriter, an animator, and concept developer.
Where is Wow located?
Wow is in Malaysia.
Okay.
It's in Cyberjaya, Malaysia, to be specific.
How long did you work there?
I worked there for around 8 months. Yeah, around 7 months. And it was interesting. It was an interesting experience. Yeah, and so as the story goes, I've said this so many times, but I quit my job at WOW to return to start an animation company. And yeah, and then the story. That's what happened, right?
Okay. Robin, what's your story?
My story. Yeah, so actually I hold a degree in business administration. Yeah, I didn't study anything in relation to filmmaking. I'm a business student, and a lot of my writing knowledge in terms of screenwriting I got from learning from Raymond. At least he taught me a bit of it, and then the rest of it was heavy research and all. But in terms of storytelling, that was something that I have had since as far back as I can remember. I don't know, probably like everybody who knows me, even from back in the day, knows that I've been writing, and I used to give my stories to them. Yeah, that's just how it has been.
In writing, would you be mostly writing dialogue, or just writing an outline of the story, or just building on a world? What kind of writing would you be doing as you've grown?
Well, I think we have different methods.
Yeah,
but they're closely similar too. So
yeah, similar. Well, I find that basic writing, you can't jump into the screenwriting software immediately.
Of course.
Page one.
Fading shots.
Yeah. So like obviously we use a lot of Evernote and take a lot of notes I personally use Evernote and OneNote because of syncing.
Oh, you're really that collaborative as writers?
Yeah, as
You
in-
work on each other's drafts?
Well,
No.
Actually, it's yes, actually,
Oh,
yes.
I wasn't going to say it like that.
Okay, we wouldn't put it that way,
Eh.
but the way I say it's a situation where the kid says a Calabanda 80s homework, right?
Yeah,
And
actually.
there's this mean teacher, and there are all these archetypes of kids in class, right? And there has to be tension, and the guy has to feel like this, right? Then I write down the things that
Fascinating.
need to be there. Then Robin is usually the one who goes in and starts
Yeah.
structuring. Okay, this guy walks in here, right?
In terms of dialogue, I think I'm also stronger myself in terms of getting dialogue, which also goes through critique. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes your strong dialogue can be terrible, and people people tell you that line is terrible. But
So like I'm obsessed with meaning. Clearly the artsy one here,
Philosophy
right?
behind stuff.
Like meaning, why is the guy doing that? You see, right? That kind of thing. Like he can do it, but like if it doesn't mean anything, I'm probably going to say take it out. You see, right? Like that's how I interpret things that are written. You see, and I think that's what I can say.
Okay, then I want to go to the inspiration behind the story.
when Raymond came back from Malaysia, a number of factors led up to this, but he had the whole Kalavanda Ate My Homework title in his head and the concept, and that was what he brought forward to me. And so the real inspiration for where a Kalavanda Ate My Homework, the idea came from, because that wasn't like inspired from me. You know, like he gave me, and then I derived the inspiration from it and wrote out the script and everything. But he knows exactly where it came from. That's why.
Yeah, it's the idea of the Kalavanda Ate My Homework. It's not as interesting as I usually want. People want it to be, but it was really just an assignment myself, because I had been going through this thing of, I had a habit of writing very Western centric stories, so I deliberately tried my best to figure out something that could work, right? So I had a bunch of ideas, right? And a Kalavanda Ate My Homework stuck because I like the idea of it's one of those pitches that it resonates on many levels to many people, and across it manages to cross tribe, race, and everything. It's like a kid who didn't handle his homework, right? And so it came from a dog ate my homework, and I just slipped the Calabanda right in there. And I think I tried some other things. I think I tried some other things. I think they're irrelevant.
I want you to tell me the myth behind the Kalabanda that we all know.
Oh.
Ugandans know the Kalabanda.
Oh yeah, okay, there is that. Okay, like the reason why I found it very, very interesting, the Calabanda, is that when I was in primary, my brother, our eldest brother, he had joined Kaboja Secondary School. And he came back with all these stories about boarding. He was the first person in the house to go to boarding, right? So he came back with all these funny stories about ghosts and things. So like the guys used to always tell us about this thing called the Calabanda. But it's never really specific.
Yeah.
You see?
They don't this either skeleton or it's something
Then
else.
people say wear shoes.
Wear shoes.
I don't know,
And
like
you hear it tapping.
Tapping. Exactly.
What is that tapping? Some say it knocks
It's-
people on the top decker.
it's just one of those fascinating.
Ugandan mythology.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you hear about and it sticks in your mind, and it's so funny that everyone seems to have heard of it. People keep on claiming that they've seen it, but then when you tell them to explain further, they can't really explain it. And it's like one of those things that once you put it in a title, everyone just they bring all that confusion into the title, and they're like, that just seems intriguing because nobody really understands. And it also just seemed like if we feel that way about it, just imagine what a teacher would feel about it. You see, right? So that idea, we kind of used that. Okay, I kind of used that to kind of derive that. It started writing itself at some point, right? Like I remember Okech came into my head like pretty quickly, like that's a mean guy.
Did you ever have an Okech in your school life?
Everybody had
I
an
think
Okech.
everybody has an Okech. Actually,
Exactly.
what we were trying to do, what was very important in the story, was trying to get all those things that people could be very familiar with.
Yeah.
Yet you could agree that you also had a Mr. Okech, but the thing is that he wasn't called Mr. Okech.
If you had that other person in class, you know,
He had several, right? Like it's very interesting. So like when somebody hears it, they instantly just start thinking of somebody.
I've actually always had this theory about the Calabandas, that was just maybe some myth, like older kids in boarding school made up to like beat the kiddos. Because like the senior ones, like whenever you come to school, like there are calabandas in this place, that kind of
they
thing.
would do it to scare
And then like
you.
when your kid has been beat, like maybe did something wrong to one of the seniors, they're like, it was a calabanda, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
No,
something
no,
like
that's
that.
another
Every
version.
school had a different thing
Yeah.
about
Different thing,
it. As it
because
was a creepy thing
that's
that
the
used
one
to
I
come
thought.
tapping
But you see, like the way you talk
How
about
can
it,
you
Yeah.
stop Labanda?
I don't know. We just know
the thing that I find so interesting that when somebody's talking about it, there's this honesty that fills their eyes.
Yeah.
They're so sure that it happened, and then you wonder.
we
like,
would almost believe that shit.
And,
Yeah,
and the funny
exactly,
thing,
as
and the
a
funny
kid.
thing is that like let's say Sharon, you're talking like this, but your friend who's standing right next to you might have a completely different thing.
different,
That
like,
was a decamate.
Timothy's story makes no sense to me.
I don't know. I so like I like.
Actually, it makes the most sense
Makes
to
the
me
most
from all
sense.
the ones
Really?
I've had. Because
Mine is more true.
It's one
And
I've
do you know
thought
what
about
made
over
mine
years.
more
I'm
true?
like, what a calabanda?
Somebody might have just beaten.
it would make sense if
Yeah,
students were
if
forging
they're
it in order
hazing
to
kids,
get
yeah.
away
But who
with it.
Cover
started
stuff.
it, man? That's like the best kept secret then, right?
It's a myth.
Like how long has it been going on? That's insane, eh?
Yeah. Okay, next, screenwriter. I wanted to know how many drafts you went through.
All right.
And how drastically the story changed as you kept going from draft to draft.
Okay, so initially, I'll start by saying that one of the things that I love about creatures, or let's say the mindset that we have, is that we always have the ability to change and
Change our minds.
change our minds. Yeah, change our minds. So initially, A Calabanda Ate My Homework was going to be really short. I think it was going to be around 1 minute. 1 minute or something like that.
What?
It was going to be really, really short. So the first draft of the script was this happens, end of story. And then you start to look at it and then you realize, what is this? It's a clip. It's not a short film. It's like, so we move on. A number of things were rewritten, but as in, because there was a back and forth. There was a lot of critique from people who were testing with Raymond, the back and forth. But officially, I would say that we have 12 drafts of A Calabanda Ate My Homework.
How,
May I
how,
ask-
how many pages?
Yeah, how many pages is
were
the
each?
last?
Was the average page count for your drafts?
I would say 8 pages.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many minutes are you planning for the film to be, the final film?
The final film is going to be 6 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. That fits
So-
well.
Yeah. So it's going to be 6 minutes, and it's about 8 pages.
Nice. Nice. The director, your creative process. Now here's where we ask about the storyboarding. Do you also sketch the characters before you do them?
Me.
Yes.
Well,
In general, the whole team. Now you're speaking for the whole team.
for the
So,
whole team.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. The development of the process. yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah. Of course. Animation. It is
Drawing.
It is kind of necessary.
Drawing?
Right. Yeah. To draw these things out before you actually go into heavy production.
Then you
And
storyboard.
what we usually do is that we have the idea first, then a brief outline, send the outline to screenwriter starts adding in more, you see, then it's back and forth. Then once you start understanding who the characters are, you write some character profiles, right? And then the character profiles, what you do with the character profiles is that you send them to a concept artist, right? And the concept artist kind of starts trying to sketch that out. So you do that very early on, even before you've gone into the really technical things, because you want to go have a back and forth with the technical with the concept artist as well. You see. So yeah. But I usually just, like, for me personally, I just usually say this guy should feel like a circle. That guy should feel like a triangle. That's what I do. So like concept artist just understands that, Okech feels like a triangle. So when you look at Okech, it feels very triangular, all of his shapes. And so like my first drawings of Okech were just triangles, right? And then I'm like, he just should feel straight and clinical, right? That's what he should feel like. Then the concept artist kind of tries to embody what that is supposed to be.
Who was your concept artist?
Wembaba Zipo.
Wembaba Zipo
is our concept artist. And also we had, what's his name? Seguia Derek?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hunter, you know him.
Yeah. So he also worked.
Yeah, you've met Hunter.
He also worked on some of the characters early on, but he was part of the team early on. But I think due to commitments with Lupe, I think it couldn't work out. But he did some of the characters in the beginning. But Paul is like our main concept artist. He's still our concept artist. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know.
Mostly, I also wanted to know how long this whole process has taken from development of the concept to not yet release date.
Yeah, so
And
how
the
long
release
does it
date
take?
is there.
When is the release
It's
date?
18th December.
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay.
we have
So
been
like-
we have been announcing that like for the past 2
Christmas
months.
week.
But before you answer that, you had set a release date before this.
Yes, we
You had
had.
set for June and July.
Yes.
What
We
happened?
never said June and July. We said summer.
And isn't that June and July
You
when
tell
the
me when
summers
summer is
come
in
back?
Uganda.
When is
here?
winter in Uganda?
And summer's coming back on 15th
Did you say it
December.
intentionally to confuse us?
And summer's coming back in December 15th.
So you are politicking.
Yeah. It's always summer in
This is how we
Uganda.
get lied to.
Yeah.
That's all we'll say about
They
that.
say that we're along the equator, it's always summer.
It's always summer.
So any day is coming
Yeah,
out.
It's coming out.
Okay, now we put a month, December summer.
Yeah, we put December.
I know, but anyway, like this stuff kind of happens, right? I think that you have to make these choices. It's uncomfortable sometimes,
Yeah.
but it happens. We had our own personal reasons as to why, but I think the decision was, as you can tell, I'm not trying to say anything,
Yes.
but the decision was made, and what's more important is that it's coming out.
I know, more
Yeah.
importantly. But conception date to now, how long has it
Oh
been?
yeah, I keep on saying 2 years, but I feel like I've been saying 2 years since the beginning of this year. So is it actually 3 years?
We officially started November 2015.
November 2015.
16.
2015. November 2015.
And the company was just me and Raymond. And so it was...
Grown
Yeah.
through the
The purpose of the film was to grow a team, to train a team, and that is what we have been doing for 2 years. It's not really been... Yes, Akalabanda has been in development for the 2 years, but it has been developing with the development of Creatures. So now the Creatures team that we have gotten through the 2 years is the team that has developed Akalabanda 8 My Homework. Another reason for Akalabanda 8 My Homework being 2 years is because we're trying to understand the industry in Uganda, the film industry.
How to reach people.
Virgin. By the time you're saying you have to train people, it's really still a
Like, I
virgin.
have a long personal story about my perspective on all this, because you have to understand that I came back and my qualifications are completely different from the rest of the team, you see. And so when I came back thinking that I'll be able to just get somebody from any of the design institutions who could join the team and they could understand exactly what needed to be done. Then I quickly understood that not a lot of them had been trained for such projects. Most of them handle projects most of them have never done projects above a minute, you see. So most of them are in the ad space, 30 seconds, 1 minute. So when you start telling them to do 6 minutes, it's impossible.
Another question I have is why did you guys choose 2D, 3D? I mean 3D instead of 2D.
Well-
is it what you specialize in, or you just wanted to do something probably different?
It's also a very interesting story, but I actually started off wanting to do 2D. I think we both wanted to do 2D.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
sorry,
So, yeah.
before that was Katoto, like in
Yeah.
Uganda.
Yeah.
And Katoto is basically 2D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, we went for 3D. I think it's just, to tell you the truth, that's just what I felt comfortable. It's a tool. It's a medium. It's like asking a person who paints with acrylic and a person who paints with watercolor, why are you painting with watercolor, right? It's just his medium of painting, right? So I feel like this is our medium of communication, and this is what we're doing. We have never said that we're not going to do a 2D project. Probably we might do one day, you never know, right? But the thing is that this is what makes sense to us, and this is how we best communicate, and the audience seems to be resonating with it, so it's okay.
How hard is it to pay attention to detail in 3D? For example, how say Disney is so famous for making the hair looks so real.
It's quite expensive to do some of those photorealistic renders, because I remember when we brought in our lighting artist Tim, we had done an earlier test with Kalabanda, with Mr. Okech, and we liked it, but it was more stylistic because I was being conservative, and this is the advantage of bringing new people who are enthusiastic onto the team. He challenged us to do more photorealistic, but then when I tried to do photorealistic, we achieved something, right? You're like, oh, that looks really cool, but it was not feasible in render time. You see, we'll probably be announcing this thing at the end of next year. You understand, right? So like, and that's 6 minutes. It wasn't feasible. We have few resources. Use those resources to make as good as a product as you can.
Release the best product that you can
At the time.
So some aftermath. One uncomfortable question. Feel free not to answer it if you want to. How much does this all cost?
Where are we in evaluation right now? The last time you told me something around what? Because we can share that figure. That's fine.
It was around 5 million.
Throughout these 2 years.
Yeah, it was around 5
But
million.
still, we're still adding some few things.
Yeah, because it's been basically. But no, I think it's over 6. It's 6 point something. Am I getting that right?
No, I don't think you're getting it right.
Because they was paying for a bunch of sound, because we wanted to have everything in a Calabander Eight My Homework completely original.
Okay.
So
And it is actually completely original.
Yeah. So everything in the film is completely original. So the music, the sound, that was all costs. And,
we didn't download anything. I don't know. I think the last figure I remember Robin telling me was around the 4-5 million range, and I think that accounts for the hard expenses.
Uganda shillings.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Uganda shillings.
It's exactly at that point I was going to say that they had expenses. Other costs.
Yeah, there are other costs that we're still evaluating, right?
What type of other costs? Give me examples of those.
I'll give you like transportation costs.
Oh,
You see, we were not really taking note of those costs.
Yeah,
Actually,
those
costs.
are the
Yeah,
costs
the
that
real
you
costs
don't
are
Cost
even think of.
for the kasoda that you drank when
Yeah.
you went that side. You
Yeah.
see, we were not really noting
Talk
down
to
those.
someone, yeah.
I think that's it. Around the 4-5 million range. I think it's going to end up at around 6-7. That's what I think. That's what I think. 6-7 million.
Okay. So what's your distribution plan? Are you going to first screen it privately? Are you going to just put it on YouTube? What's the plan?
So actually, the film is coming out on 18th
18th December.
18th.
That's in next week.
next weekend.
No, it's on a
next week, but one Monday.
Yeah,
Monday.
On a Monday.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're releasing it on a Monday, and that's going to be on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to release it on our YouTube channel, and but on the 16th
At the DigiArt
at the DigiArt Fest, which is happening on 15th and 16th
at the Design Hub.
at the Design Hub. It's pure marketing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Wait. On the 15th and 16th at the Design Hub.
free of charge.
At the DigiArt Fest. Interest is free.
Interest is free.
Right?
Bring a friend.
Yes, there are classes available, but those classes are paid. You can register online.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? And then let me put on my.
Please go to the Tribe Uganda page and try to see. Look for more information.
Tribe Uganda.
Yeah.
This December on 15th and 16th at the Design Hub Kampala. Entrance is free. Watch.
Nah, guys, no. In Uganda,
Yes.
it's more like
So like your voiceover is for some other people. Mine is for this.
Anyway, okay. So at the DigiArt Fest, that's 15th and 16th, we're actually going to premiere a Calabander Eight My Homework. Like Raymond was saying, there are going to be panels of all the participating studios.
6 studios.
So yeah, 6 participating studios: Creatures, Elupe, Leaves. Anyway, in our panel, we are going to premiere our film.
Is it too soon to ask what's next?
What's next?
I think we can give a
In
general,
very broad strokes.
Yeah, broad stroke.
And it's we're trying to attempt a TV show. All right. And I'm not going to tell you what genre it is.
or what
I'm not going
it's
to tell you
about.
the title. I'm not going to tell you what it's about. We're leveling up next,
Yeah.
right? And it feels just as uncomfortable as it felt when we were starting Calabander Eight My Homework, and that's a good thing. Yeah. So the thing that it's a little more ambitious. Actually, it is a much more ambitious
TV show.
Yeah, it's a TV show,
Very ambitious.
and we're going to
Aiming
use
for
what.
TV.
Yeah, we're aiming for TV and online.
TV and online. Okay.
Yeah, actually, I think we might even. I don't know. We're trying to figure that out. Right?
Are you working with any Ugandan TV station, or you're making your thing
Not
and you're
yet.
going to send
No.
it or pitch?
No. As it stands right now, we're welcome to the idea, right? But the thing is that because it's a virgin industry, what we've found is that there's a lot of reluctance for people to come in because it's a risk, right? But we are looking see if we can get potential partners, right? You see, but as of now, we don't have partners. But it's okay. It's good.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
things will work out.
Things
man.
will work
And
out.
that
Things
can't be
will
our excuse for
definitely
We're
work
not
out.
doing it.
Because as
Yeah.
in now,
Yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah,
still
actually
good.
that's very interesting. With Calaban did my homework. We went through a period of time trying to get people to help us finance it. And they were saying it sounded like a good idea but looked ridiculous, right? You see, so the thing is that
I don't know what's good for you.
but the thing is that it's fine, we got this far, right?
we spent
Yeah.
our
We this is completely financed by us,
Yeah.
right? And the other project will start this way. We welcome anyone who's listening.
if
to this.
anyone's listening in,
Our
the people who
pitch-
created the
our pitch-
Calabanda Eat My Homework.
well,
No,
actually,
from the creators. of
from the
Calabanda.
creators of A Calabanda Ate My Homework
Comes
We
a
are now-
new.
comes a new. We have to do broad strokes. Right?
Yeah, fascinating and great,
We can't tell you what it is yet,
but it's a show. Yes,
but it's a good TV show.
it's gonna be magnificent. It's gonna be great. We're gonna make animation great again.
Oh my God. Okay, well done.
my
Well done.
God.
I'm shaking Robin's hand because that was
Good
a good
impression.
That was good.
I think that should become the official slogan of Visions, making animation great again. Yeah, but that's what we're doing. So like it's that's what we're doing.
Is there anything else craft-wise that you wanted to ask?
No, yeah, I was going to ask like inspirations, like from people already doing like particular people. You as a director, screenwriter, who are your
Inspiration.
yeah, like animators, for example,
Yes.
like people who really probably have stimulated you in the way you do your thing.
Personally, I actually watch more film than I do animation.
Yeah.
Right? I want to learn a lot from the the old cinema, right? How it works, right? And I already told Sharon this some time back. I'm a big fan of Quentin Tarantino.
Yes, it is.
And also Wes Anderson. With animation, of course, it's Pixar, but I've realized that I'm a big fan of anime, right? Hunter x Hunter, Togashi. That's a anime show. It's I just like how he interpreted his story. It's really, really brilliant. And I'm a big fan of the DC animated shows. That's the stuff that seems to be informing my decisions when I write and my inspiration and everything. That's it. So I don't know.
You.
Raymond's still part of my answer. So as in like there's nothing left to say. I'm heavily influenced by anime, and Hunter x Hunter is my favorite show. Leaving anime aside, I appreciate a lot of the Western things like the reason why I said that he stole some of my answers because he mentioned the Justice League, the DC animated show, because I really love them. Like there's a way they tell their stories, and recently I discovered, I have to tell you, man, that in all the Marvel animated shows, I don't think there was any other like Spectacular Spider-Man. The writing.
We're going to our own.
Yeah. But anyway, in terms of like a big name person in terms of writing, I think my favorite writer so far is Jonathan Nolan.
Okay, as we close, I think I didn't want us to go without mentioning that you have a stellar cast. You have a famous cast in UG. And team, of course. So just shout out to your cast and your team.
It's the cast was really amazing. They did a good job. For people who I'm believing did animation voice acting for the first time, and really big ups to all of them for accepting. So there's Martha Kay as Tendo. She did a fantastic job as Tendo. She's just Tendo. Omara and Daniel as Okech. There's Faith Kisa as Amia.
Faith Kisa,
She's
you told me
actually-
something interesting about her.
She
Yeah.
writes kids' books.
She writes kids' books. Yeah.
You should check that out. She's on Amazon. She has her books on Amazon.
Yeah, so there's Faith
Shameless
Kisa.
plug.
Not forgetting Faith Kisa.
This December 18th, Faith Kisa. Not forgetting, she's releasing a book.
Yeah, actually, she has a book out,
Yeah,
a second book right
she,
now.
She's just launched a book today. That
Camis
means it's
Fish
available.
Monster.
When this goes up, it's available.
Yeah.
Camis
Will
Fish
be-
Monster.
Yeah.
We have
Actually.
to support our people, man.
Yeah. 'Cause-
Alright, so finish.
so Faith Kisa, and lastly, I would say Patrick Salvador.
Team.
The team.
Most important.
I would just want to say, obviously, that's also another industry that we're trying to kick off, which is voice acting for animation. So we'll be trying to do a lot of that stuff, right? Kick off a lot of industries. So the team, I usually forget this person because he went to Canada.
Yeah.
So I want to start with him.
Yeah.
He went
the
to,
first person
so
who joined us.
Desh Paul was the first person that joined us. I'm
Studying animation right
now. At the Vancouver Film School. That's a prestigious school, sorry.
Okay.
And I'm very proud that we actually have a creature
In
in
Vancouver.
Vancouver Film School, and we're expecting him to come back and join the team. So we still acknowledge him as the team member,
Oh,
and so he's our texture artist. I have to shout out what they do as well.
Yeah.
Texture artist, but everyone on our team, even if they specialize, they're multi-talented,
Yeah.
right? So then we go to Jemima, a team. Jemima, a team, currently our only female member, but we are working on expanding that, right?
please do.
Not for a lack of trying.
Not for the lack of trying. I think like the availability of female animators was something that really needs to be fixed in the country.
Yeah, she's
Right?
the only one that graduated.
Yeah,
in
she's
our-
the only one who graduated of her class in art field.
In her class?
Yeah. She
And
was
how
on-
many students were there?
I don't. Yeah, I was actually. I was at the critique, so there were around like 13
So
or 14.
12 against 1.
Yeah, it was around that. She was the
Jesus
only
Christ.
girl at that time, and yeah. So the Jemima team, she works as our, she's also a texture artist and also an animator, right? Then we have Francis. I have to say it in order because you get
El Nakishiro Francis.
El Nakishiro Francis. He wants us to say it like that,
Specifically.
right? So El Nakishiro Francis as our. He also does texturing. He does modeling and animation, and he also has been working with the marketing, right?
Yeah.
So he has done an excellent job there. And we have Timothy Hook, who is our lighting and rendering and compositor. Then we have Alan,
Best animator.
the self-proclaimed best animator.
Alan Muyenga.
Alan's second name.
Alan Muyenga.
Alan Muyenga. Yeah, he's a really good animator, like on our team. And then Robin, right?
Oh, Robin.
Robin,
Robin,
screenwriter.
screenwriter.
And COO of the company,
And,
Chief Operating Officer.
And
Have I missed anyone else?
yourself. What's your
Right.
other title?
Oh, me. I'm CEO of the company.
CEO.
And, yes,
Sounded
CEO.
like CEO.
CEO of the company. Yeah, and like that's our team as it stands right now. Oh, and I forgot. There's Wembaba Zipo. Ha!
He
See.
was mentioned
And
earlier
then-
just to
on.
mention,
But I
Given
mentioned him
the
earlier.
whole-
Wembaba Zipo is our concept artist, and he's really brilliant. He's a very talented guy. So yeah, those are the creatures, right?
As of now.
As of now.
I'm sure creatures will be like 120 in like 20.
Yeah, man. Thank you for the blessing. Receive that blessing, man.
Yeah.
Receive that blessing.
Yep.
We need as much
Bigger.
support as we can. As like in terms of even the audience, I think we're trying to do as much as we can for the creative industry here.
We're not shy to ask for money.
Should actually
We accept
Give
donations.
them-
Okay.
might be a doctor.
Raymond
No, it's
Malinga,
actually
Robin
Robin.
Malinga.
Yes.
Thank you for coming on the episode,
All right.
Yeah, thank
guys.
you for having us.
Their short film is coming out on the 18th. Of December.
But there's a premiere on the 6th.
There's a so let's start with the premiere. Watch the premiere on the 16th. Go
And
to
the Digi Art Fest.
do it.
At the Design Hub.
at
Which
the
days
design-
will it be there? Both days or the 15th?
Okay, it's worth it to come for both days because the event is about celebration of art. I would, but yes, we are having ours on the second day, which is 16th.
Yeah.
But I think it's worth coming and seeing what's going on there because we're celebrating all this art, like generally. So, like, I think it's okay. I think it's
Okay. Go to DigiFest at Design Hub in
Art Fest.
fun. Digi Art
Digi Art Fest at the Design Hub in
Kampala. It's right next
industrial area.
industrial
Bata.
area, 5th Street, right next to Bata. You
Yes.
see Bata after Bata,
After
that's the
Bata.
Design
The
Hub.
mobile money guy that's there.
Yeah, and yeah, I think that's
Then first go see that. It will premiere on YouTube on the 18th.
yeah. And they should also subscribe to our channel on YouTube.
Yes,
Creatures
create
Animation.
Creatures Animation.
Creatures Animation. You should subscribe so that
Or just search for Kalamanda Ate My Homework and watch
Just-
the trailer,
it
then
comes up.
subscribe.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Subscribe.
yeah, do that. That would be good. Share it with your friends. Tell people to come.
Yes.
Subscribe.
And watch the
Everything.
film on 18th. It's
Yeah.
I hope you guys love it, man.
Yeah.
It's been
So-
2 years of work.
yeah.
Thanks, guys. So this has been Cinema Red Pill. Thanks again. Thanks, Timothy. Shout out to our producer Joel. And that's it. Our next episode is going to be a Christmas episode, so look out for that.
Yeah.
We're on iTunes, we're on SoundCloud, we're on Stitcher, everything, Facebook, Twitter. Follow us. Thank you.